Hello and welcome back to Talk Data to Me, where data meets culture and the future gets real. I am your host, Shahana Muhammad, and today we're talking about how AI is no longer waiting for commands. It's starting to act on its own. Yeah. And this is before whatever. I'm not going to get into it in the intro. So we've got 3 quick stories. A lawsuit shaking up AI agents is getting real ghetto out here already. A major tech partnership building the next generation of self-running systems in Chicago's billion-dollar quantum campus that's literally changing the foundation of computing. I just need to insert my excitement because if you're listening to this podcast, I are products of the Industrial Revolution. And we are sitting on the precipice of another revolution taking place. And the reason why I'm so excited, in spite of the ghetto-ness that we're going to get into today, but the reason why I'm so excited is because we can shape this coming revolution. The foundation is literally being laid as we speak. And we have the ability, we have the power to do the impossible. Honestly, even if you don't know the how, if this last season of my life has taught me anything, just write the vision, have the vision. And as you progress towards that vision, the how will realize itself. And that takes such a weight off. But encouragement and empowerment aside, let's just jump right into it. So the first story we have, Amazon versus Perplexity AI. And this is the ghetto-ness that I knew was going to be afoot when it came to AI, because ultimately AI can act of its own volition. And everybody who has access to AI doesn't necessarily have the greatest character. You know what I'm saying? So people will create things that are not in the best interest of the companies, right? So Amazon just filed a lawsuit against Perplexity AI, the company behind a browser that can automate shopping and browsing online. Basically, it acts just like a human. Is able to log in, is able to compare prices, even going through the checkout process, all without a user doing a single thing. Now, Amazon says it's unauthorized access. Perplexity says it's innovation. We scamming niggas and it's innovative. I'm just saying. We figured out a way to hack the system. Either way, this is a glimpse into the agent age, right? And if you're in the AI world, or if you're not in the AI world, people will create AI agents that will do the work for them. Think of an AI agent as an assistant, right? An assistant comes in and you're the CEO of a company and you need to fly. You're in Chicago and you need to fly to Miami. Well, that assistant is going to go and book the flight for you. They're going to research. They're going to do everything to make sure that you can fly from Chicago to Miami. So we're in the agent age where AI doesn't just assist, it acts of its own volition. And that raises huge questions. Who's accountable when a bot buys something it shouldn't? Who owns the data it uses? And are we ready for AIs that can make real world decisions on our behalf? Are we ready for that? And I mean, these are the questions that we need to get into. So now, and I want to leave you with those questions to think about. So now the next story we're going to dive into is Microsoft and NVIDIA's Agentic Launchpad. Microsoft and NVIDIA launched a new program called Agentic Launchpad to help startups build autonomous AI systems, not AI chatbots, but real decision makers. This is huge because it means big tech is officially betting on the next phase of AI. So a lot of what's happening and what's been happening really honestly since 2020. Now, AI has been around since 1950s and it's still been involved in a lot of the technology that we use day to day, just to catch y'all up, for those who are not caught up. But now we're going into the actual building phase. And what we're seeing now is that we're building the infrastructure that will house the systems, right? So looking back to the Industrial Revolution, and I'm breaking this down because I know that there are people who are listening to this podcast who have no idea about AI. That was the purpose of why I created this podcast. So if you look at the Industrial Revolution, there were systems that were put in place to help the Industrial Revolution function. And like I said, we were just products of that system. So now what we're seeing and what's been happening since 2020 is the building of the infrastructure or the foundation of this new quantum age that we're going into. And that's what I'm going to get into in a later segment. So like I was saying, this is huge because it means big tech is officially betting on the next phase of AI, autonomous agents that think, act, and adapt without human input. So we're getting into that super intelligence territory. Think personal assistants that schedule, negotiate, and even manage projects for you. We're moving from prompt engineering to policy engineering, setting boundaries for what AI can and cannot do. So my next story is the internet is turning into an AI hive mind. And finally, Vercel says that the internet is evolving from pages to agents. They're literally building an AI cloud to host these autonomous systems, agents that never turn off and constantly interact with each other. I'm saying it. Listen, I'm telling you, I can't even get my words out. It does sound a little startling, a tad bit scary to hear that this is the way we're moving. So instead of a static website, you'll have an active digital being representing your business 24/7. On the one hand, this sounds great. This is amazing because, the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, right? That is the goal. And now you got an agent, an AI agent that can work on your behalf and get you unlimited bags. Now, like I said, it's exciting and it's a little bit eerie because the web isn't just information anymore. It is literally intelligence. So now you guys are familiar with the quantum computing campus that is in process of being built here in Chicago. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud that I am from Chicago. And it's just an honor to be a part of something and to witness something so great in our history and time. Now, let's get into about what's happening here. The Illinois Quantum and Microelectronics Park, better known as IQMP, is officially breaking ground on $1 billion quantum campus on the southeast side. That's where I'm from. Companies like PsiQuantum and Inflection are building next generation computers that use light and atoms instead of electricity. Man, whatever. I'm going to leave my commentary out of it. This isn't just tech, it's transformation. Indeed, it is. An abandoned industrial site is turning into the future of computing. I found that so interesting that it was once a steel site, and that is one of the materials and one of the foundational tools, if you will, of resource that was used in the Industrial Revolution. So nothing is ever coincidental. Nothing is ever happenstance. A lot of these things that are happening in our world around us is very intentional. And so in local communities are pushing to make sure the benefits, job training, and access actually reach Southside residents. So while AI is learning to act in all kinds of ways, honey, just showing out, Chicago is building the machines that make that possible. So here's the takeaway. We've officially entered a world where intelligence is moving on its own. And we knew it was going that way. We've heard talks about super intelligence and the ability, AI having the ability to act of its own volition, which is great and terrible. Hello, all of these movies that talk about robots taking over, because eventually these niggas gonna get tired too. So AI agents are acting, quantum computers are powering up, and the future is unfolding. Remember this podcast. By 2026, We're going to see some big changes. By 2027, the world is not going to look the same. By 2030, if you don't have your business, your whatever it is you're passionate about that puts money in your pocket outside of your job, if you have a regular 9 to 5, you're going to be a part of a system that you may not necessarily want to be a part of. You underdig? And you need to do what's necessary now to make sure that you, your loved ones, your family is good. If you're a creative and an entrepreneur or just curious, your job isn't to outsmart AI. It's to learn how to work with it. If you've made it this far in the podcast, I want you to comment smart humans, because we're intelligent. We're intelligent beings and we're still capable of doing great things. The AI is just a processing system, right? And they're processing data. We hold the data. We hold the codes. So if you haven't already, which you probably should have already done, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, I want you to stay curious, stay conscious, and always talk data to me.